Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at one of these. This is a Micro Digital Lite Motorola. These were good for use on the AMPS cellular network. These came out in 1994. This one, going from the serial number, is actually being manufactured, I think, February 1995. So this is coming on for about 18 years now of age. These are all analog, although this one operated on AMPS as well as TDMA, but predominantly AMPS because the TDMA cellular networks weren't widespread at the time. This is of course not to be confused with the MicroTAC Lite, which looks like this. These are inherently the same phone, it's just that the MicroTAC Lite only operates on AMPS and not on TDMA. Fundamentally, looks-wise, it is pretty much identical. It's just the inside's obviously a little different. I'm going to fire this up in another video because this is a limited edition one, and I also have the ultra rare bone-colored one, which is which was issued only as a loaner. So if your cell phone broke at the time, they'd give you this while yours was being fixed. So we'll look at that in another video. These are quite collectible nowadays. Anyway, so this digital light here, we're going to fire this up and see what features the menu has. Obviously, we can't use this anymore because the AMPS and TDMA networks don't exist anymore. Certainly where I am. And most definitely not in the basement where we are right now. First thing you notice is that when you switch it on, it says digital because they wanted people to think, oh, it's a digital phone. In actual fact, there's not really much that's digital about it. It's still fundamentally an analog cell phone. So yeah, basically, we can't really do much with it. And I'm going to stick a good battery on there because this one seems to be empty. Let's see if we can try and get some juice out of this one. Right, that's more like it. So yeah, I mean, this one is in pretty bad shape because the battery, the side grips, I don't know if you can see that, but the side grips are quite worn. Yeah, so I tell you what, we're not going to use this one. We're actually going to use the better one of the two that I have, which is this one. This one is actually in pretty much new condition. It is the same phone. If you open them up and compare them, they are exactly the same phone. This, of course, has the extended battery on it compared to the slim battery, which this one has. So it gives you some sort of idea. Imagine having to carry that in your shirt pocket. So yeah, but unfortunately, all these old batteries were all NiCads or nickel metal hydrides, and they don't really hold their charge. So I have a more up-to-date battery. So that's what we're going to use to fire this up. First thing you notice, it says digital, obviously. But from the point of view of actually using these, you can't, like I said, we can just check what the phone number is that was assigned to this. So if that used to be a phone number and you owned one of these, congratulations, your phone's made it on YouTube. If you clear that and then you type, press recall and then the pound or hash, and again, it actually shows you the different counters. So this one has actually only been used for a total of 55 minutes. Which is why it's in absolutely brand new condition, as you can see. So of course it has the extendable battery, the extendable antenna, but these are just a bit of plastic actually. The antenna actually is just a coil in here, and I did show this in my other video. When they made these phones, people who were used to the bigger bricks, like in the background, and those had 6-inch antennas that were actually used for transmission and RF. So they didn't want to make a cell phone which didn't have an antenna when they released the MicroTACs, because I think that would put people off. So they just basically made an extendable antenna, but actually that is just a bit of plastic. It has absolutely no functionality. If you snip that off, you'll see it's just a bit of plastic. So there's not really much else I can say about this phone, except that these are quite collectible nowadays, I think. That the display is it's basically 8 sets of blocks of little tiny LEDs, and depending on what the phone displays, it lights up the LEDs in a row or in a line. So, but what's interesting to note is all of these MicroTACs which had this sort of display, they only actually used 7 of the 8. And I'll show you what I mean. So that's basically 7 digits. If I type 8, the 1 obviously disappears. So, but you can see that there's an extra block there which they never used. I don't know why. That's just the way. It's not broken because all of my MicroTACs with this type of display do the same thing, and that includes alphas, ultralights, lights, digital lights, except of course for the digital E-Lite or digital Elite, which is this phone, because this is dual line, a bit like the MicroTAC Elite. But I'll fire this up in another video as well. I don't actually have an Elite to show you at the moment. I do have one, but I just don't have it to hand. And that phone is dual line as well, with a similar sort of display. So depending on what kind of phone you had at the time, you had different colored LED displays like this. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up or whether it will just go out of focus. But you can't really, or maybe you can just about tell, and then it just like you can just about see the little tiny LEDs that make up each of the numbers. And I think that's pretty cool because certainly nowadays you wouldn't have that because these displays are battery eaters. They use up a lot of battery. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this particular phone. Check out my other clips about some of the other MicroTACs that I have, and also some nifty tricks on how to unlock some of these or remove the service provider lock. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.